Hey guys, how you going? It's Byza here. I am just doing a VOD pretty much on what's going on with myself. Also talking about the last 6 months of where I've worked from and how I've got to where I am today. Okay, so pretty much I wanted to talk about leaving Gamestah. I wanted to talk about work with Mockit. Also, I want to talk about Furox TV. Three real issues that have been big players of the last 6 months in my terms of opinion and where I am sitting today. Now, leaving Gamestah was a decision that I made purely to the decision of lack of Rocket League content, but also because I didn't have the opportunity to work with other other organisations to do casts while with GameStar. They didn't allow me to, to branch out or do stuff for other people. It was obviously exclusive. So on that note, we ended a relationship in terms of me doing volunteer work for GameStar, as none of it was paid, and I moved on from there. Unfortunately, it meant being fully removed away from GameStar and not having the ability to help or to still be part of what they do, which was their choice, and I had to accept that. So that's the way it panned out with that. And saying that, GameStar's GRL 2 is coming up, and I'm thumbs up support that no matter what, because it's part of helping and building the community, which is all I'm for. So regardless of what went down with myself and GameStar, I'll still talk about them in a positive manner, no matter what. So GG's to them. Hopefully they have a really good qualifier coming up, and the teams and supporters get behind it. Working with, coming out of GameStars, I started work with Furox. At the time, that was a small little venture, and it seemed to get very quickly roll into some good momentum coming from Toos and Wolf in creating it. They created their own Rocket League team. I think they had a CSGO team and some other teams that were doing, which was great. In the line of retrospect, there was a whole lot of promises that came out that never really got fulfilled, which I'll talk a little bit later about, making sure you get everything in writing. So on that point, what I did was I had nothing to go with. So instead of sitting and doing nothing, I said yes. I'll come and help and do the stuff. And in the lines of that, it managed to land Furox TV ESL weeklies, which was a really cool concept coming from ESL, being that it's over in Europe and NA doing weeklies over there. So it was only naturally going to come to Australia. And shout out to B-Bears running the admin stuff, putting his hand up and also helping grow the ESL and the Australian community towards it. So it's been a really good venture on that behalf. However, with what's happened with Furox at the end of the year, with some allegations that have been made, has put the organisation to the ground, and having a restructure in terms of players, teams, and organisation staff, making Sub-Zero and leaving Furox in the hands of. So what he wants to do with it. On that point, Toos has gone underground and hasn't returned back. I don't know, he's on one big long holiday, but I haven't heard a single word from him, and as a result of that, no one has heard of him for ESL. So ESL naturally has been passed over to AGTV that were doing the monthlies, now doing the weeklies. No hard feelings. That's fine by the way it works with ESL. It is a kick in the teeth for me because I really am looking at ESL being a major cool card, and I really enjoyed doing their streams. And unfortunately, they look at working with organisations, and I'm not an org. I'm a freelancer commentator that's doing it solo. So in the lines of that, Toos, I don't know where you are. I don't know what you're doing, but you need to answer what has gone on. Need to put some type of statement out confirming what's what. And it'd be lovely if you say hello once in a while. Anyways, I'm calling you out, mate. Good luck. On that retrospect, Furox, good start. The way it ended, questionable. Now that makes me that leads me into anything. If I got any advice for anyone that is either a commentator or looking to set up contracts with organisations and players, make sure you have everything in writing. Whatever demands, whatever conditions, whatever you want, whether it's paid terms or swaps, trades in terms of Twitter handles, this and that. Make sure that it's all in writing, and so they must abide by that, and it makes them responsible. At the end of the day, really, you're just going to avoid it because there's no real point going to court with this stuff unless there's massive amounts of money owed, and then you think it's worth your time. And that's where a lot of these organisations, shifty orgs, get away with it. So just be very careful on who you sign up with. Do your research to make sure that you sign up with the right people. Now, in saying that, I might have made a mistake doing it with Furox, but at the time, it was work for me. I come out of an org that wasn't giving me work. I wanted to try and get myself rolling in it. Here was one avenue. Another avenue I'll talk about right now, which I'll still do some stuff for, is Mockit Esports. They came into the scene and they decided, they would run some pretty high prize pools for the scene, which encouraged a lot of teams to play and a lot of pro teams to play through, which was great. It means another avenue of casting for me, and it was fun as well. I got to contribute with stuff with them, being that, and I'll be honest, it was a paid gig coming from them. So the first paid gig in esports was to come from an American org coming through, American run, most predominantly in Europe, but they're all over the place, Mockit, in terms of where they go and what they do. What came with them was also some bad reputation from admins that were no longer there anymore, and I think there's an outlining fact that OCE did not support Mockit. Some did, but not the majority. And for that, the streams had dropped in viewership, also in promotion, and sort of tied Mockit's hands to say we can't put any more prize money towards OCE unless we see a support rise, and it didn't. So it went down on that line, which wasn't my decision. Right and there. It was collective of the administration team and Mockit to make that call, and that's why it went out. So I was just purely the person that connected Mockit to the region and casted it, and got some money out of it, which ended up going on a new rig, camera stands, audio gear, and all sorts of things, which only benefited me in terms of trying to cast. Otherwise, I'll still have a really amateur setup. So thank Mockit for being part of a growing region in OCE, and I do hope they come back. In saying that, guys, I still do stuff for them, just not in the nature that I really want to. Like, I would love to still be casting and streaming, but I'm doing other stuff on the side, which is fine in my eyes, in my view. So yeah, leaving Gamestah purely because content wasn't there, and they didn't support me going to do casting with other people. So I made the choice. It was their way or the highway, and I took the highway. Furox TV. I don't know what's happened to man. I'd love to be told and be made aware of what's going on, and not be left in the dark. Unfortunately, I've been left in the dark, and Mockit, a business that is turning money over. So, if anything, a lot of people are slightly sour because of how ruthless their nature is. And to be honest, that's business. Sometimes you don't want all business done like that, but they've got to be cutthroat if they're going to actually turn over $1, and these guys do this full time. So imagine if they didn't turn over $1 and the full-time career goes, they'll have nothing. So, I understand why Mockit does what they do and rubs people up the wrong way. People got to learn about a business as saying that you can still run a business differently and be profitable. 50% they say of people that start businesses will be successful, the other 50 fail. So it's interesting to see how it is. With that, guys, 6 months of being a freelance caster has been pretty hard. I've had plenty of advice from org owners on what I need to do. Plenty of advice from casting agencies wanting to join them and be exclusive, and whatnot, and talking to local figures and that, and really sort of figuring out where I need to go, what I need to do. Still no real clear picture of where I'm. 6 months, and I've said I'll decide what I would do. All I know right now is I have a 3-year window to do So that's what I'll be doing. I have the capabilities to stream and even admin a tournament. So I've been doing my own streaming, my own tournament, and my own stuff like that. So it's possible. Currently, at the moment, I'm doing local stuff and connecting with locals with a new LAN venture happening pretty soon. They're wrapping up just around, and it's first of Australia and it's going to be amazing. So Perth and WA is going to be put on the map, and there's some interesting organisations doing some really good stuff for the grassroots through the high schools, which is really interesting with what's coming up. But I'm just going to say, as a freelancer, it hasn't been easy, and because you're not an organisation, you will majority be put second best by the community, because they will go to the casting agencies like Gamestah, Peanut Gallery and the freelancers will be forced to make a choice to either join or be partly affiliated with one or the other. This is where I turn around and say, I will not be affiliated directly with any organisation where I'm like, I'm theirs, that type of thing. I'm not AGTV, I'm not Gamestar, I'm not Peanut Gallery. However, I will work for anyone that needs me to do it. And, you know, Org wants to come to me exclusively to run a tournament. Having the conversation of those from there and there. So I'm just putting it out there that I am there, I am available, and what I do say is I'm not here to talk crap about players. I'm not here to make people's life hard. I'm here to give the best of my abilities, to be authentic, to be relentless, passionate about what I do. Really, my end goal is I want to be an Australian on RLCS. Whether others are with me, fantastic. Whether they're not, it's not sure. I can't do anything about that, but I want to be on RLCS and I want to be on ESL. So I'll just make those 2 points clear to everyone that I am aiming to go somewhere. But in the process of line, I want to bring the community with me. I want to make sure you guys are following me every step of the way, but also following your favourite teammates, your favourite casters, your favourite agencies, whoever is doing what, and we're all really positive about it. So all I can really say out there is get behind you guys who are looking to put a voice to OCE. Get behind them, because they're the ones who are going to bring you right into the light, and then it's game on. Then OCE shows the world what is possible. So it's exciting, 2017. I haven't had the best start. I know some other people probably haven't had the best start either, but it's a long, long season, a long, long year. And I'm only excited for what potentially could come from it. Nonetheless, it's an update, guys, of what's going on. I'll put up another video talking about something which is really close to me at the moment. Should be a bit weird for a couple of people, but I also think people can relate. Anyways, I'm going to do that straight after this one. So I think I'm done with that. So I've talked about leaving Gamestar, talked about the work with Furox and what's happened with them, and the work with Mockit Esports with what I do. At the moment, I'm doing Perth Rocket League, which is my initiative in restarting the local scene. So I'm running that and doing my own RLCS. So I'm not casting for anyone at this very time, which leaves me free to do overseas stuff or different game titles like CSGO or Disc Jam, which will be interesting again this year. CSGO is interesting as a couple of LAN tournaments coming up, which a couple of people. Anyways, nonetheless, it's an update on me, and hopefully you get to see me on stream just doing my thing, because it's what I enjoy the most. The nitty gritty work behind it, it's hard, and most of the time you have to do it if you're going to get anywhere as a solo person or a freelancer. But it's worth it at the end. And then when you get the rewards by being on stream and just being in it and enjoying it. So I'm looking forward to getting myself back into it, and hopefully an organisation comes through that wants to. Anyways, thanks guys. Byza signing out. I'll see you guys later.